Hello, welcome to Tuesday, August 29th, 2017. This is your buddy Nate broadcasting to you live from my office on the campus of Northeast Iowa Community College in Kalmar, Iowa. Here it is for all of you to see. This is my little closet converted into an office. And so here's what I do all day. And I got some questions from a couple of people about homework that I was supposed to assign at the end of class last Wednesday that I forgot to send out to you. And I wanted to give you a couple of heads up related to some updates that I made to the syllabus and to the discussions. So if you can find your way over to our icon page, and I don't know which section you're in, if you're in 4102 or 4103, it doesn't really matter for the purposes of this video which one you're in. Everything's going to look pretty much the same, but figure out which class you're in and then go to that page. I should mention too that I think each section has like a 0A01 page associated with it and a 0AAA page associated with it, and just to make my life easier, I'm only going to worry about the 0A01 stuff. So I'm not going to post anything in the AAA pages. So keep that in mind. Anyway, if we click on the 4102, for example, if that's the section you're in, click on that. And then I want you to come over here to discussions. I see that I need to publish one thing, so that's got to be published. Here, walk with me as I do this for the other section too. Sorry for this live editing that you're going to need to sit through here, but this is how the sausage gets made. All right, so now I'm on the 4103 side, and I guess it doesn't really matter. What I want you to do, whether you're in 4102 or 4103, is click on discussions. This is where you did your learning and teaching thing last week, which we'll talk more about tomorrow night when we meet on Wednesday. The new thing that I want you to look at, and this is what I intended to post at the end of class last week, but got away from me. And so we can start a week late, and it's not going to cost us anything. One piece of the online part of this class is going to involve you going out into the internet and finding content that is relevant to what we're talking about during any particular week, and content that interests you, and then post a link to the article or blog posting or journal article or newspaper article or whatever you found that relates to the topic that is interesting to you. Post a link, post a summary of that article, and post some questions that you have about what you just read. And so I call these assignments environmental news. It's something that I do with my environmental science students up here at Kalmar and have for a couple of years with the online sections. And I found that it's a good way to keep people actively consuming scientific information, gives you good practice in critical thinking, and it kind of keeps you up to date on real world applications of earth, biological, and environmental science. And so there will be an online component to this class since we do only meet once a week face-to-face, and a big piece of the online component is going to be participating with these environmental news assignments. And so the first part of the assignment, I'll call it 6 points. We'll call it your original post, and your original post should include an active hot link to the article that you're interested in so that I don't have to copy and paste that thing. It should include a thorough summary, so we're looking at maybe 300 to 500 words summarizing what you read, and then some questions that you might have had coming out of what you've read. Maybe tell us a little bit about where the article's from and who the author was, etc. So that'll be worth about 6 points, and then another 4 points will come from responding to classmates. And so your responses should indicate that you actually read your classmates' post and the article that they're trying to convince us to read. And then you should also include some questions with your response to classmate as well. So those will be worth about 10 points. Going forward, what I'll probably plan on doing is releasing these environmental news assignments or making them available after classes on Wednesdays. I didn't get to that last week, and I apologize, but that's okay. And so for this week, we'll release this assignment on Tuesday, and hopefully by Friday or so, towards the end of the week, you'll have your original post up by about 11 p.m. or so. And then by the following Tuesday, so a week from today, you should have your response then in for your classmate. And so I kind of walk through those details here. One other thing that I've changed, if you read down here at the very last line, as it relates to your final grade, the environmental news assignments will be lumped into the 10% that I'm designating as other in-class and online activities as assigned. See updated syllabus. And so what I did, and this is going to be true if you're in 4102 or 4103, is I did make one update to the syllabus that you can see here. So if you look at the updated syllabus, which I have added to icon, the only really thing I changed was I had originally given 20% of the final grade to this create and present educational material stuff. And then I realized that there's probably going to be more stuff happening that I had outlined in here. And so we can lump that all together in a final 10% that we call other in-class and online activities as assigned. And so we'll do some stuff online, and we'll do some stuff in class that might not fall into these categories. And so I made this final category for a final 10%. So I took 10% from him, and I made a new 10% down here, and it still gets up to 100. So don't worry about that. But anyway, these online environmental news assignments will be lumped into this other category. And we'll probably do these every other week. So kind of a bi-weekly assignment. Again, the purpose of it is for you to get out there, consume information that is relevant to what you're interested in and what's relevant to the course, and then kind of get you to think critically a little bit about what you're reading and start asking questions. So that's the updated syllabus and the environmental news stuff that I wanted to add. The last thing that I want to mention before I shut up is the third discussion that I've added here is asking you to go back to the assessment that you took at the end of class last Wednesday. So each of you took a little assessment. I know some of you pointed out that there were some typos and maybe some formatting issues that we needed to address, and so just ignore that. But go back and think about the assessment that you took. If you need to go back and look at the questions again, that's fine. Identify the one item on the assessment that you took that really gave you the most challenge when you tried to answer it. Go back, think about what you were thinking about when you answer those things. You don't need to take it again, but if you need to go back and revisit the items, that's not a bad idea. I want you to identify the one that you struggled with the most and talk to us a little bit about why. And then put your response in here. I've got this one set up so that you can't respond until, or you can't read your classmates' responses until after you've posted something original. So it might look like nobody's posted anything, but maybe they have, and you just haven't posted anything yet. And so once you post, then you can read what other people said. So that'll be maybe a limitation on this discussion here. Okay, I think that's all that I wanted to say for now. Have a look at these updates. See if you can't get some ideas about environmental news articles. So maybe just to give you an example. Let's say you're in the earth and environmental side of the class, and you're really interested in how we control for things like erosion or nutrient loading in Iowa's surface waters. Or maybe you're not interested in Iowa, you want to go find out about some other state. So go into Google, look for news articles that deal with that topic, and see what you can come up with. Read the article, give us a link, give us a summary, give us some questions, and then read and respond to a classmate. Maybe you're on the biology side and you're interested in things like how has Iowa's tall grass prairie habitat evolved over the last few years or whatever. I'm just coming up with examples off the top of my head here. Go to Google, look up newspaper articles that deal with prairie ecosystems, and see what you can come up with. Maybe you're interested in climate change, or maybe you're interested in flooding, or maybe you're interested in evolution or medicine or those kind of things. Again, we discussed this at the end of last week. This is a very broad collection of ideas that we'll engage with in this class, and so you could kind of go in a lot of different directions, I think, for this assignment. But I want it to be a topic that interests you, but that is also relevant to what we're looking at in this course. So I hope that clarifies. If you have questions about any of this environmental news stuff, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I will try to put together a little rubric too that you can follow along so that you get a better sense of how I would assess these things. All right, I'm shutting up now. If you have questions about anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to me via email. Try to get some responses into this environmental news and to the discussion about which assessment item was difficult for you. And I'll look forward to seeing you all tomorrow night in Iowa City. Thanks, guys. Thanks so much. Have a great afternoon, and I'll see you soon. See ya.